What's going on, guys? It's Steve. Should Karl Anthony-Towns leave the Minnesota Timberwolves? Because we see this time in and time out, that great players, and don't get me wrong, he is a great player. He's going to be one of the best players on the planet. I mean, he already is, but I'm talking like top 5 eventually in like 4 or 5 years, because for him to come into the league, what did he average last year? Like 19 and 10, and this year he's averaging 22 and 12. That's crazy. It's rare to see a big man come out and do that. Look at your Shaqs, your Dirks, your Tim Duncans, your Chris Boshes, just some stars from the last generation. All of these big men, your Amari Stoudemire's. Goddamn, this dude is a beast. But if you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, to me, it doesn't make any sense that they should be this awful. They're not that bad, but they're better than they used to be. But it doesn't make sense that they're this bad. Honestly, they should be in playoff contention. They shouldn't be a top seed, but they should be in playoff contention. Maybe a mid seed, maybe a low seed. Utah is doing better than, I know Utah is probably, I think they have still the best defense in the NBA statistically. I'm not too sure about that. I may be wrong. But, that doesn't make sense to me. That for some reason, the Minnesota Timberwolves aren't in playoff contention. Think about it. They have Zach LaVine, who's averaging 20. They have Andrew Wiggins, who's averaging 20. Now, my only bad thing that I don't like about Andrew Wiggins, he's not really that efficient. I'm not too sure if he's gotten better. I haven't really been paying attention the last few weeks on the Timberwolves. But, they have Andrew Wiggins, who's averaging 22. I think it's like 22. He's averaging 22. You have Karl Anthony-Towns averaging 22 and 12. You have Ricky Rubio, who's good, but his confidence for some reason is bad, And, if you look at it, when they played the Knicks, Brandon Jennings leaving them space. Literally, Ricky Rubio, I know he can't shoot. He shoots like 39% from the field and like 21%, 22% from 3. But Brandon Jennings was playing defense on him, and he literally was at the free throw line while Ricky Rubio was at the top of the key. And even then, Brandon Jennings was in the paint. He was nowhere near him, and he was like pointing at the rim like, shoot it, like daring him to shoot, like literally doing that. And Ricky Rubio, he just passed the ball. I know he's running the play, but if you have a wide open shot, that's the one thing that I don't understand about NBA teams in general. Think about it. All of these players are elite players, but for some damn reason, some of them can't shoot the basketball. Like, all it takes is one summer. Ricky Rubio's been in the league for 5+ years now. All it takes is one summer. One single damn summer to work on. That's it. And you'll have a good jump shot. One summer of 1,000 shots a day. And you'll be good. Think about how many players that hindered. Dwight Howard is definitely one of the best big men ever. But imagine if Dwight Howard developed a mid-range jump shot or a post game. Oh my freaking goodness. Imagine that plus the athleticism. Jeez, man. I understand why some of these players don't work on it. Because, to be honest, if Dwight Howard did that, he would definitely still be dominating. He's still dominating. And by the way, really quick, just to get off topic for a second, did you see Isaiah Thomas's game winner again? This guy, man, he's phenomenal. Oh my goodness. He's seriously trying to make people talk about, look, I might be top 5 very soon because don't sleep on me, LeBron, KD, Russ, James, and Steph, they're still light years ahead, but Isaiah Thomas is closing that gap, and he's like, you guys got to pay attention to me. You got to pay attention to me because I'm coming, I'm creeping on you. Slowly but surely. He's a beast, man. And they played that nice tribute to Al Horford in Atlanta, where Joe Johnson made his career. And I'm just kidding. It was a nice tribute. And I was actually surprised as well. And Al Horford said this in an interview as well. He was surprised about, him getting booed. I was shocked too. I didn't expect him to get booed. That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Not everyone booed, but a lot of people were booing him. It was crazy. But anyway. The Minnesota Timberwolves. What the hell is going on? They have Ricky Rubio, Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins. And you have Karl Anthony-Towns. So, to be honest, there's no reason why this team should not be succeeding. They don't have to be a championship contending team, but there's no way they should not be succeeding. I think Karl Anthony-Towns is good enough to lead them to NBA playoff appearance. They also have Chris Dunn, the rookie point guard coming off the bench. Nikola Pekovic, he's like a Jonas Valanciunas, well, not as good, but he's a solid big man. Georges Dang or whatever, Gorgie Dang, I think that's how you pronounce it, Gorgie or Gorgu. I don't remember, but that Jang guy, he's not bad, Jordan Hill, Shabazz Muhammad. I mean, and then they have like Tayshaun Prince, I don't even know why he's still in the league, to be honest. I mean, Tayshaun, it's like Vince Carter, like, it's time to retire. Your time was been gone for like 10 years now, but I mean, I guess Vince Carter just loves the game, and hey, he's still on the team. Yeah, I think he still plays for Memphis, actually. But anyway, to me, it doesn't make sense. They should at least be 6th, 7th, 8th, or like Dashy says, 6th, 7th, or 8th seed, So that doesn't make sense to me. I think Karl Anthony-Towns actually came out and said, I'm not doing enough, but I mean, the dude is 20, 21 years old, and he's averaging 22 and 12 for a big man. That's really good, especially in this modern era where it's a guard and forward league. It's been a forward league for 10 plus years now, and now it's going into the point guard era. It already has. That's crazy for him to averaging 22 and 12 as a sophomore player. So I don't know what I don't know what else more you can do. Can't really do much more. I mean, you can average 28 points per game. That's more shots though. I don't know if you have the experience to be able to do something like that. I'm not saying you're not a good player, because players like Melo and LeBron and Wade, they were doing that in their second season and things like that. But I don't know if your body's going to be able to take it, because, you have more weight, you're taller. So I'm not too sure on that. But I think, honestly, this team, what it is their confidence. If you think about it, if Andrew Wiggins can become more efficient, he'd be better. He would be better. If you have, let's see, Zach LaVine. If Zach LaVine, can become more efficient as well, and they get better defensively, this team would be much better. To me, it doesn't make sense that they're this bad. It doesn't. And Karl Anthony-Towns, he doesn't have to do more. He just has to keep doing what he's doing. It's his supporting cast. I mean, I don't think he should leave or abandon ship, because obviously the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think, if they can surround him with more players, some veteran players to come off the bench, it doesn't have to be any superstars, because you have Andrew Wiggins, who's probably going to be a decent all-star, not a superstar, but a decent all-star. You have Zach LaVine, that's going to be probably a decent all-star 1 or 2 times, and then you have Karl Anthony-Towns, who will definitely be an NBA superstar, barring injury, so just surround him with some shooters. Tell Ricky Rubio, look, you got to start shooting better, you got to learn how to shoot, work on it, or you got to move on, get a better point guard, because it's Ricky Rubio. He's a great passer, but defensively, he's terrible. He can't shoot the ball. So they definitely need a better point guard. They need better big man. I mean, Pekovic is good, but you need some better supporting big men to come off the bench. You just need a better bench in general. You need a better point guard, and I think that team will be good. Keep the main core, the core of the team, Pekovic, LaVine, Wiggins, and Karl Anthony-Towns, and maybe it's time to move on from Ricky Rubio, get a better point guard. It doesn't have to be an NBA superstar point guard. Get a solid point guard. Look at Rajon Rondo. Rondo's probably going to leave the Bulls, possibly trying to get Rondo, because he's getting benched and they're having drama and they're talking about trading him, and he's a really good player. I don't know what's going on with him and teams hating each other for the last 3 years. Dallas, Sacramento, I think it was Sacramento, and now Chicago. So get Rondo. He's a champion. He has deep playoff experience. He knows what it takes to win, and he's older now, so he has that veteran mentality. And I know he's not a great shooter. He can play defense. He used to be one of the best defensive guards in the league. I don't know about now, but he can still play defense. And then on top of that, he's still one of the best playmakers and passers in the NBA. So in terms of that, you should be good in terms of that. So to be honest, I would go after Rondo, or, there's really no one else you can go after. I mean, Chris Paul's going to be a free agent, but I highly doubt he's going to go to Minnesota. That if you guys got Chris Paul in, the free agency, that would be the most craziest. That doesn't make sense. The most craziest. I'm stupid. That would be the most crazy ridiculous decision I've ever seen, and you guys would probably be not championship contenders, playoff contenders. You know, with Chris Paul and Karl Anthony-Towns. And heck, that could help develop and, you know, progress the speed of his development faster for Karl Anthony-Towns, because this guy, I'm telling you guys have a bright future. You just got to keep holding on. Keep that core, you know, that Wiggins, Levine, Karl Anthony-Towns, and Pekovic. Cut everyone else and sign better role players. Get some defenders. You need some perimeter defenders because Andrew Wiggins and Levine and Rubio, come on. You know, get some perimeter defenders, get some veterans, maybe 1 or 2 veterans, get another big man to come off the bench, get a better point guard, go after Rondo, go after someone that's a good point guard that can play defenses, that wants to pass the ball. You don't need any more scoring. You have 60 points per game strictly from your 3 best players. Actually, it's more. It's close to 70 because 22, 22, and then 20. I think it's like 21 actually. So it's close to 70. You know. So you have like almost 70 points strictly. We'll say 65. You have 65 points strictly from your big 3. And then you have Pekovic giving you what, 10 points per game. You know, so that's 75. You're good. You know, and get a solid point guard that'll average around 10 points. Get those assists. Get a defensive point guard. And that team will be set, man. You know, there's no need to worry. Minnesota Timberwolves their future is amazing, and I'm excited for them. Yeah, you know, hopefully. Unfortunately. I mean, anyway, it's been Steve. No, Karl Anthony-Towns should not leave the Minnesota Timberwolves. He has a bright future. And to be honest, if he were to go anywhere else, he probably... the thing about the NBA is, right now, people look at the now. Like, okay, the Sixers suck. Get Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, all of them off. Or the Timberwolves suck, get Wiggins, Levine, Pekovic, and, you know, Karl Anthony-Towns off of them. But those people don't realize that if they were to go to a team like the Houston Rockets, or let's say the Clippers, or the Cavaliers or something, those, or the Warriors, those teams really only have like a 5-year window to win championships. Right? Because after 5 years, Kyrie's going to be getting old, LeBron's going to be getting... LeBron's probably going to be retired, Melo's going to be retired, Kevin Love's going to be retired, Kevin Durant's going to be old, Curry's going to be old, you know? So they don't understand that, you know, after those 5 years, those teams are not going to be championship contenders. And then it's going to be like what they're on now, a rebuilding process. To whereas if they were to stay with, you know, that current team, in 5 years, they'll be the best team in the league, possibly. You know, so people don't understand that it's weird the way it works, but it does work that way. Anyway, man, the Minnesota Timberwolves have a bright future. No, Karl Anthony-Towns should not jump ship. Anyway, guys, that's been Steve. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new. I'm out. Peace.